Stay right there. Don't move. I want you to imagine that there is a thin, invisible thread connecting your eyes to mine. Through this thread, I am going to pour something into you, something old, something heavy, and something that will make it impossible for you to ever feel ordinary again. We are told that attraction is about the surface. We are told it is about the geometry of the face or the youth of the skin. But you have been in rooms with beautiful people who felt like empty hallways. And you have been in rooms with plain people who felt like a wildfire. Why? Tonight, we aren't just talking about tips. We are going to dismantle your psychology and rebuild it. We are going to explore the 5 chambers of the magnetic soul certainty, intentionality, the signature, the unified self, and the eternal presence. This is going to be slow. If you are in a rush, leave now. But if you are ready to become the person that others cannot stop thinking about, then let's begin. The first chamber is certainty. Psychology tells us that the human nervous system is constantly scanning for the anchor. In every social interaction, there is one person who is more certain of their reality than anyone else. And by the laws of human nature, everyone else will eventually fall into that person's orbit. Think about your own life. When you speak, are you checking the faces of others to see if they agree? Do you end your sentences with a rising tone as if asking a question, I think this is a good idea? That rising tone is the sound of a beggar. It is the sound of someone who does not own their own mind. To be attractive is to be an anchor. It is to speak your truth with a flat, downward inflection. It is to know your material, your life, your work, your desires so deeply that you no longer require a second opinion. Certainty is not about being right. It is about being decided. Imagine a predator. A lion doesn't ask the tall grass for permission to move through it. It is certain of its hunger. It is certain of its strength. When you walk into a room, do you move like a guest? Or do you move like the owner? Certainty is built in the dark. It is built by reading the books you say you'll read. It is built by mastering the skills that make you an asset. When you know deep in your marrow that you bring value to every conversation, your body language shifts, your eyes stop darting, your hands become still, and stillness is the ultimate signal of power. Only the person who is certain they are safe can afford to be still. I want you to consider the 3-second delay. The next time someone asks you a question, don't rush to answer. Most people jump to speak because they are afraid of the silence. They are afraid that if they don't fill the air, they will lose the other person's interest. But the attractive individual knows that the silence belongs to them. Wait, look them in the eye. Let the silence become slightly uncomfortable and then speak. In that delay, you have communicated that you are the master of the rhythm. You have communicated that your words are not cheap. You have communicated certainty. Let's go deeper into the biology of this. When you are uncertain, your body releases cortisol. Your movements become jagged. Your voice thins. You become high frequency. High frequency is the energy of prey. But when you cultivate certainty, your frequency drops. You become a low, resonant thrum. This is the frequency of the womb, of the earth, of the deep ocean. It is the frequency that humans have associated with safety and desire for 1,000,000 years. How do you find this frequency? You find it by facing your fears until they become bored of you. You find it by looking into the mirror and refusing to blink until the stranger in the glass looks away first. Certainty is the new charisma because we live in an age of confusion. Everyone is pretending. Everyone is performing. When you stop performing and simply exist with absolute conviction, you become the only real thing in a room full of shadows. People will touch your arm just to see if you're real. They will ask for your opinion just to feel the weight of your words. They will want to be near you, not because you are nice, but because you are grounded. Do you feel the weight in your feet now? Good. That is the beginning of your gravity. You are still here. That tells me you have the hunger. Most people would have drifted away by now, distracted by the flickering lights of their own shallow thoughts. But you are staying for the harvest. Let us walk into the second chamber. The radiance of effort. We live in a world that worships the effortless. We are told that we should look like we didn't try, that we should pretend we don't care. That to invest in our own reflection is a sign of vanity. But I am here to tell you that effortless is a lie designed to keep you invisible. Psychology reveals a profound truth. Effort is a form of non-verbal communication that signals high resource value. When you show up with intentionality, you are signaling to the primitive parts of the human brain that you are a person of discipline, power, and self-respect. Imagine 2 gardens. One is overgrown, tangled with weeds, neglected. The other is manicured. The soil is dark and rich. Every bloom is placed with a master's eye. Which one do you want to walk through? Which one do you value more? You are the garden. For years, I hid behind the cool girl mask. I wore the messy hair and the wrinkled clothes because I was afraid. I was afraid that if I put in the effort and people still didn't find me attractive, I would have no excuse left. My neglect was a shield for my ego. But when you shed that shield, when you decide that you are worth the time it takes to polish the diamond, the world shifts its gaze toward you. Effort is an act of ceremony. When you take the time to style your hair until it moves like water. When you iron your clothes until the lines are as sharp as a blade. When you choose a scent that doesn't just smell good, but tells a story of ancient woods and midnight air. You are performing a ritual. You are transitioning from the survival self to the ceremonial self, and people can feel it. When you enter a room, they don't just see a person, they see a presentation. They see someone who respects the moment enough to show up as a masterpiece. I want you to commit to the 10% rule. Whatever you are doing now, increase it by 10%, not for them. For the mirror, look at your hands, look at your skin. Are they being tended to, or are they being ignored? When you ignore yourself, you give the world permission to ignore you. But when you are radiant with effort, you become a light that the darkness cannot overcome. This leads us to the third chamber, where the effort becomes a message, the signature. Communication is not just the words that leave your lips, it is the frequency you leave behind. Most people are a mixed signal. They wear what is trendy today and what was on sale yesterday. They are a blur. Their presence has no weight because it has no consistency. But the magnetic soul, they have a signature. Think of the icons. They didn't just have clothes, they had a language. I chose the color black, not because I was mourning, but because I wanted to be a void. I wanted the world to stop looking at the colors and start looking at the soul. Black is consistent. It is powerful. It is a boundary. What is your language? Perhaps it is the way you always wear heavy, meaningful jewelry that clinks softly when you move, a reminder of your presence. Perhaps it is a specific silhouette that highlights the strength of your shoulders. Perhaps it is a scent that becomes so associated with you that when people smell it in a crowd 3 years from now, their heart skips a beat because they think you are there. Consistency creates trust, and trust is the soil in which obsession grows. When you are consistent with your signature, you are creating a memory anchor in the brains of everyone you meet. You are becoming a brand. You are no longer just a person, you are an experience. Stop chasing the trends. A trend is a way to disappear into the crowd. A signature is a way to stand in the center of the room and let the crowd revolve around you. I want you to look at your closet. Truly look at it. Is it a graveyard of different versions of you that didn't work out? Or is it a wardrobe for a protagonist? Only buy what fits the signature. Only wear what speaks the language. Over time, you won't just be dressed, you will be defined. And a defined person is a person of power. You are still here, you are breathing with me. That means the shallow parts you are beginning to fall away, leaving only the hunger for the truth. We are descending now into the deepest part of the labyrinth. Let us open the fourth chamber. The chamber of alignment. This is where the amateurs fail. This is where the pretty faces crumble, because attraction is not a performance, it is a state of being. Psychology tells us about a phenomenon called cognitive dissonance. It is the friction that occurs when who you are on the inside does not match who you are presenting on the outside. Most people spend their entire lives in a state of high-level friction. They are one person at their desk, another with their parents, and a third, a shivering small version. When they are trying to be attractive, they are wearing masks, and masks are heavy. People can sense the weight of your mask. They might not be able to name it, but they feel a glitch in your charisma. They feel that you are performing, and nothing is less attractive than a performance that is begging for applause. To be truly magnetic, you must be aligned. Alignment is the courage to be the same person in the boardroom as you are in the bedroom. It is the refusal to code switch, to make others comfortable. When you are aligned, your frequency becomes a laser. A laser is just light, but it is light that is perfectly synchronized. It can cut through steel. Your presence, when aligned, cuts through the noise of the world like a blade. But to achieve alignment, you must face the shadow. We have all been taught to be good. We have been taught to suppress our anger, our ambition, our raw pulsing desires. We push these parts of ourselves into the basement of our psyche and lock the door. We think this makes us polite. In reality, it makes us thin. It makes us invisible. The most attractive people in the world are those who have integrated their shadow. Think of the person who is kind, but you can sense the predator beneath the skin. Think of the woman who is composed, but you can feel the heat of her hunger. That is the power of the shadow. When you invite your darkness to the table, when you own your desire, when you own your capacity for coldness, when you own your raw ambition, you stop being a caricature of a human being and you become a force. People are terrified of the shadow, but they are also hopelessly drawn to it. Why? Because most people are too afraid to own their own. When they see someone who is whole, someone who is both light and dark, both soft and dangerous, They cannot look away. They want to be near that fire, even if they are afraid of being burned. Stop trying to be perfect. Perfect is for dolls. Perfect is static. I want you to be whole. Look at the parts of yourself you have been hiding, the parts you think are too much, your intensity, your silence, your pride. Bring them into the light. Wear them as part of your signature. When your interior and your exterior are one, you no longer have to try to be attractive. You simply are. You become a monolith, and the world has no choice but to adjust its orbit around a monolith. Now we reach the final destination, the fifth chamber, the immortality of presence. Let's be brutally honest. Pretty is a depreciating asset. It is a flower that starts to wilt the moment it blooms. If you build your identity on the youth of your skin or the trendiness of your body, you are a person living in a state of constant, quiet mourning. You are watching your value slip through your fingers every time you look in the mirror. But presence is immortal. Presence is the ability to be so profoundly here that the past and the future cease to exist for anyone in your vicinity. We live in a society of ghosts. We are physically in one place, but our minds are scattered across 1,000 screens, 1,000 regrets, 1,000 anxieties, because we are never here, we are never felt. But the person who is present is a drug. When you look at someone, truly look at them, and you give them your unfiltered, unhurried attention, you are giving them the rarest currency on earth. In that moment, you make them feel like the only person in the universe, and they will become addicted to that feeling. They will associate you with the only time they ever felt truly alive. Presence is the reward for the work we have done in the other chambers. It is the result of certainty. It is the result of alignment. When you aren't fighting yourself, you have all your energy available to be with others. You build this presence by keeping promises to yourself. Every time you say you will do something, whether it's waking up on time, finishing a book, or standing your ground, and you follow through, your internal weight increases, you become heavier in the room. People who are flighty, people who break their word, people who are nice but hollow, they are light, they float away, they are forgotten. But you are becoming a gravity well. You have the map now, you have walked through the chambers. Certainty, effort, signature, alignment. Presence, these aren't just psychological concepts. They are the keys to a kingdom you have always owned, but were too afraid to claim. Tonight, I want you to sit in the dark. Don't turn on the light. Don't check your phone. Just feel the weight of your own presence. Feel the certainty growing in your marrow. Feel the alignment of your soul. The world is waiting for you. Not the version of you that fits in, but the version of you that commands. If you have felt the shift in the air today, if you recognize the power that is finally beginning to stir in your eyes, then you know this is just the beginning. I want you to leave a comment below. I want you to be bold. Tell me which chamber has been locked for you. Which part of your shadow are you inviting to the light tonight? Subscribe to this frequency. We are building something here that cannot be broken. Share this with one person who is tired of being a ghost. Go now. Walk into the room. Don't look for the approval. Just be. Stay bold. Stay intimate. And stay unforgettable.